I remind ourselves again that b'siyata d'shemaya we are moving. Not that we're not understanding, but l'maisa we're learning longer and we're moving. So I haven't actually seen where the chat's holding. I don't know where the chazara of the chaver is holding. Chaver is holding chazara, but we're finishing daf hey already. So we really have to just be machazik zayin in the chazara, and that's all I could say. That's all I could say. Let's keep on moving. So, middle of discussing the minimum height of a sukkah. Minimum height of a sukkah, 10 tfachim. We finished off yesterday saying that the keruvim are standing on top of the aroin in the Mishkan, on the floor. Now remember that detail from yesterday. That's an important detail. It's going to come back to us today to answer up a kasha. That in the Beis HaMikdash, thank you very much, the keruvim are standing on the ground. So we said yesterday that the keruvim are a third of the height of the room. In the Beis HaMikdash, the room was 20 amos, 60 tvachim. A third of 60 tvachim is 20 tvachim.
Right.
The Mishkan, Rosh Hashanah just jumped to the next level. Yeah. That's what we were getting to. That's why I just went with it. Very good. A third is 20 tvachim, 10 of the Arain, 10 of the Keruvim. We ended yesterday. It's exactly where we ended yesterday. Their wings were on top of their head, and it was soichachin. It was covering over lamala me asara. We ended yesterday with one last kasha, umimai, and how do we know the gadfayu iluye rashayu kaimi? We're going to take a plunge at it. I guess we're going to go about 18 lines from the bottom. The first word on the line is umimai. No, how do we do? Nailed it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Baruch Hashem.
How come we wouldn't call the Rav MacBook Pro 70?
What do you say? What do you have there? MacBook Pro 70. I don't know what 70 is. No, because I come up with my name.
iPhone 7, MacBook Pro 70.
Or iPhone 7 is back on. iPhone 7 is back on. Mazda 70. What you sound? Oh mi mai digad fayu alura shayu kaimi Dilma Prakti Gemara. Maybe the wings are equal with their head, which thereby means what? That the space underneath it is under 10 tfachim. Amar Rav Achbar Yaakov Lemala Ksev, the pasuk says on top of, shows that the wings were on top of. Asks the Gemara, what do you mean? Asks the Gemara, so the wings were on top of their head? Ve'ema, very good, the middle tuva. Maybe they were high above their head. How do you know they were directly on top of their head? Answers the Gemara, Mi Ksev Lemala. It just says one time Lemala that they were right on top of their head. So far, that is another mikar for the minimum height of the sukkah. Now, if you remember, going all the way back to, I think it was yesterday, which we began the day before, as the whole discussion only worked if an amma was 6 tfachim. Oh, Rav Yossi, the Zaydalin. If the amma was only 6 tfachim. Was is das?
Briss, his grandson's Briss is at 10 o'clock.
PM.
Chaim Heinemann's, he's in Crown Heights.
10 o'clock at 7:70? Near 7:70. Gewaldig. Frag to Gemara, how do you know? Again, so this whole discussion, if you remember, we kept on saying that an amma is 6 tfachim. Says the Gemara, and if you remember when we started off, we made mention that it's not so pashit that an amma is 6 tfachim. So now, asks the Gemara, 15 lines from the bottom, the first one on line is lemala. There's a dot in your Gemara, I believe. Ha nicha li Rav Meir. The entire discussion works with Rav Meir to Amar, who says, whoever is not good at math today, just I don't know. You'll be with me in this one. We have a little bit of math to go. Not the hard math, don't worry, that's coming soon. Kol ha'amais hayu beinoniyos. Rav Meir holds all amais are medium grade amais, which is 6 tfachim. Elul Rav Yehuda, but according to Rav Yehuda argues, and he says the Amar Amma Shel Binyan, the Amma of the building of the Mishkan of the Beis HaMikdash was Shisha Tvach, which means the Krushim were 10 amos, 60 tvachim. That doesn't change. However,
It's saying that 1 amma was 60.
666. Each
So
amma,
what was Beinanis?
Beinanis is 6 tvachim. So. We're middle of a sentence.
Oh, I'm saying it's not arguing against.
It's going to be the money. Hold. Slicha, Adoni.
A mayor says that
All amos.
that it says amos
Good.
regarding to the Mishkan and the Kalim.
Everything is 6. Rav Yehuda says
There's a difference.
the binyan is 6, but Vishal Kalim is
So
Chamisha.
the,
So now,
the Oren is the 9 times 5,
so how-
45.
so the Aron is 9 times
No, the Oren is 1.5 amo.
1.5 amos.
1.5 times 5
1.5 times 5, 7.5 plus
plus 1.
1 for the Kapairis is 8.5. 20 Tvachim minus 8.5. What's 20 Tvachim?
11
What's 20 Tvachim? Why did I say 20?
Mishkan.
Height of the
Of the
top of the Kruvim.
Yeah.
Top of the Kruvim, which
No, the height of the Mishkan.
no, not
No,
the height of the
it's
Mishkan.
60. Right. So,
Height of the
Right.
Kruvim.
It's a
Now it's
third,
saying
because
here
the
that
third.
with the Kruvim's wings, this would be 10.
Good.
Tvachim.
So ask,
11.5.
no, it'll be 11.5.
Yeah.
11.5.
So how do you know 10?
So how do you know 10? That's the kasha. Let's see it inside. Now there's one detail here that we glossed over, but let's read it inside and we'll speak it out after. So again, Nachma says the Gemara. Hanicha.
Wait, then also the Quran says that there were 10.
So what's the answer to that kasha?
That's why I thought I was.
What's the answer to that kasha? We answered that kasha yesterday. That's why you have to say that the kruvim in the Beis Hamikdash were standing on the floor. And therefore the kruvim were a third of the binyan. Which means here in the Mishkan, the top of the kruvim are still going to be a third of the binyan. I mean, the top of the kruvim are still going to be 20 because they have a din of binyan. The aroin is the only thing that's changing. That's what's going to happen in the Gemara. We'll seek that detail out again. But let's just get through the Gemara. Your question is a good question. That's why I made mention before that we have to remember that they're sitting on the floor. But let's get there. All amos are 6 tvachim. El Rav Yehuda amos shel binyan is 6 tvachim. Shisha shel kalim chamisha. Michael and Meimer. What's the kasha? The Gemara spells out the math. Aroin v'ka poires kamahave lo. So we know the aroin is 1.5 amos, and amma is now 5 tvachim. 5.5. Half of 5 is 2.5. 5 plus 2.5 is 7.5. It's really not such hard math, right? I mean, you made a big deal about nothing. It's really not so complicated. Even I got this one. 7.5 plus 1 of the kapayres is 8.5. Kamavlu temanyo palga. 8.5. Pashalo 20 minus 8.5. Chad Surei Upalga 11.5. So Frek to ask the Gemara, maybe we should say Ema Sukkah Dahave Chad Surei Upalga. Maybe a sukkah is able to be 11.5.
Only. Minimum.
Minimum. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Answers the Gemara. One of, if yesterday we got a little bit depressed when we chucked half the Gemara, now we chucked the whole thing. Ela Rav Yehuda, guess what? The whole shtickle Torah is out the window. Hilchas Mirila. One big fat halacha leMoshe Misinai. So now you want to know what is the minimum height of a sukkah? Everyone agrees it is 10 tefachim. Why? According to Rabbi Meir, we have a limit from the Torah, 10 tefachim, learned out from the Aroin, soichachin bikanfeim. According to Rabbi Yehuda, halacha leMoshe Misinai. Da'amar Rav Chia Barashi Amarav, shiurin, chatzitzin, umechitzin. These are 3 entities, halacha leMoshe Misinai. Now, I just want to point out the cheshbon I said before quickly because it is an important detail. The Gemara just said, let's just speak outside what the Gemara just said. Rav Yehuda holds an amma of the kalim is 5, of the binyan is 6. The aroin is 8.5. Says the Gemara, 20 minus 8.5. Why is it 20? Where does 20 come from? 20 comes from a shlish. A shlish, good, of the binyan. So far, so good. But why 20? Because we know
binyan is 6.
Because we know by the Beis Hamikdash, the kapoires, the kruvim slicha, were a third of the binyan. That only works. 1 second. Good. But to go one step deeper, if you were to try to calculate the size of the Beis Hamikdash, okay, in Tfachim, it's only going to be a third if the Keruvim have a din of binyan. If the Keruvim had a din of Kalim, it's not going to work.
Right.
Because if you go back to the Psukim, how do we know that the Keruvim, we said it was 10 Amos? No, it's not a true cheshbon. It's not true. I don't know which Mefarish said it. It's not emes. It's not emes. Second. It's not emes. Again, let's speak out the emesis. Keruvim is 10 amos in the Beis Hamikdash. The height of the Beis Hamikdash is 30 amos. It's 1/3. No, that part is good. Again, let's go with Clark. I'm making one.
All we take from the Beis Hamikdash
is a third. Perfect. Good.
Right.
Now,
we applied the same formula.
perfect. So now, let's go to the Mishkan. What's the height of the Mishkan? 10 amos, which is
60 tvachim.
everyone agrees it's 60 tvachim.
Yeah.
Why? Because the binyan, the
It's 6
walls,
amos.
everyone agrees it's 6 amos tvachim.
Yeah.
So everyone agrees that the Beis Hamikdash is 30 and 10. Everyone agrees that the Mishkan walls are 60 tvachim. Beautiful. The point of debate is how tall is the Aroin. No, the Aroin. The Keruvim
Have to be 20.
have to be 20.
Because
Exactly. Good.
So the argument is in the
Keruvim
has a
are
different-
if you in the Beis Hamikdash, we're 10 amos, 60 tfachim, even more. Yeah. Yeah, the Keruvim were massive in the Beis Hamikdash only. Correct. Yes, they were very, very big.
The Keruvim
Yes.
have a din of binyan when it comes to measurements, and it's the Aron itself that.
Yeah,
has
but
the din
I
of
don't
binyan.
think
No,
you
we don't
need-
get into that.
I don't think you need that. I don't know why. Someone has said that.
The
Aren't we basing
Aron-
our
what they call-
size
the
on
Kodesh
the Aron,
HaKadoshim.
not the Keruvim?
Both. Meaning. I made everyone
the
confused.
Kodesh HaKadoshim
Yeah. Let me say it
is a
straight.
third of
Good.
the 60
Let me say it straight. Let me say it very simple. How tall is the Mishkan? It's very. This is not
60
debatable.
tvachim.
60 tvachim. The type of the Keruvim, the top of the Keruvim is not debated either. Is a third of the building. 20 tvachim.
It's simple. The Keruvim are inside the Kodesh HaKadoshim.
Frankly, 20
The
tvachim.
Kodesh HaKadoshim
20 tvachim.
was 20 tvachim high.
Was
20 tvachim high.
Nain.
Yes.
Nain.
Yes.
Nain. The
Yeah.
top of the Keruvim were 20
Which
tvachim.
is the top, which is the
No, wait,
not
wait.
the
Who cares? The ceiling of the Kodesh? Who cares? Why?
Keruvim on the floor.
I need Shvita Yitzhar Sinai. Who cares? You don't need to know about that. That's the Gemara Bava Basra,
The Keruvim are-
which you're right.
Ah,
Fills up the whole room.
That's what I'm saying.
But we don't need to know that.
Keruvim
That's not our
with the
secret.
Aron.
So then you can imagine it.
The
So
Keruvim with
Yeah.
the Aron is 20.
Keruvim with the Aron is 20. Good. How tall is the Aron? That's
Eight and
the
a half.
point of debate.
That's debatable.
Either 8.5 or 10. If it's 8.5 from the Aron to the top of the Keruvim is how tall? 11.5. So asks the Gemara according to
The final
the
height
top.
of the-
Perfect. Very good. Only in the Mishkan.
Okay, so maybe this is on the floor.
Really? Well, then the pictures are wrong. It's supposed to be on the floor. We don't know. Nowhere does it say
probably was
they're
matching.
chvaist.
It probably was matching.
They were massive. The Aron was also massive.
Mikshachas was it?
Or gold.
Mikshachas, yeah.
Yeah, gold. Wow.
No, the
That's
big
in the base of English.
Piece of gold, you know.
Which I
have-
never knew, by the way. Never knew it was on.
Yeah.
Today this would be.
I'll remember. I'll bring you more pictures tomorrow.
It would be what we say price.
Yeah,
We
it
say
would be.
price.
It would be priceless.
Probably be $100 million. Not bad. We can bring him show and tell. Bring in the actual crew.
It would be
Actually,
priceless.
Okay,
Don't know.
Chavra, we have 7 minutes. Listen. We really have the Gemara now is about to start a whole lengthy discussion about different shiurim. But I believe we just finished a very important end point of the Gemara because we just finished off according to Rav Meir, according to Rav Yehuda. We have the whole thing. Let's read the whole thing again.
Once again, shiur and chatzitza.
Shiurin,
Yes.
the measurements, literally.
Yeah.
Chatzitzin, the halacha of a chatzitza on a keli. You can't have a chatzitza when you put in the mikvah. Mechitzin, the halacha of a mechitza. What these are, the Gemara is going to explain in a moment.
Okay.
All of those measurements are halacha l'moshe v'sin.
According to Rabbi Yehuda.
Yeah, according to according to Chibar Ashi Amarav. According to Rav Yehuda, that's how we know the size of the Mishkan. Now, Chavra, we're going to stop here, particularly because we really need to do chazar of the whole blot. Because the whole blot right now, really all the way from Dalit Amid Beis, the bottom of Dalit Amid Beis, the two dots, Minolan, until here, this is one discussion. So if you remember, we started all the way back there, and we said the Aroin Tish of a Kapayr Stefach on the bottom of Dalit Amid Beis. So now that we have the whole sugya, we got to go from top to bottom. We have to all read it through A to Z at least a few times before we go weiter. So let's go. You want me to read it through? I should read it through for 5 minutes. Okay, sit. I have no problem. Let's go. You go read together with me. Gavalik. Dalit Amid Beis. Chaver, Dalit Amid Beis, the two dots. Everyone, Dalit Amid Beis, we can do this in 6 minutes. Dalit Amid Beis, two dots. Chaver, I had a cup of coffee before we started. You did not, so I think you should hold on tight. Here we go. Dalit Amid Beis, the two dots, 6 lines to the bottom. We are now figuring out the size of the Mishkan, that is 10. Size of the Sukkah, thank you, that is 10 Tvachim. Mino. Itmar Rav Chanina, Rav Yechon, Rav Chaviva, Masni, Rav Chaviva, Master, they all taught. Parenthetically, Bekulu Seder Mayit and all of Seder Mayit. Kol Ki Aizuga, whenever you see this whole pair, Chalufei Rav Yechon, Umayli Rav Yonason. Swap Rav Yechon, Rav Yonason. End of parentheses. What do they all teach? Aroin Tisha, the Aron is 9 Tvachim, an Am and a half, and now we know that the Am is 6 Tvachim according to Rav Meir. According to Rav Yehuda, we get all messed up. But right now in Rav Meir. Aroin Tisha, Vikap Ayres Tefach. Harekan Asaruk, 7 it says, Venatil Chasham Dibarti Itchami El Kapayres. It says that Hashem's going to speak to Moshe Rabbeinu from on top of the Kapayres. On the top of him, at Alpha Tani, we learned in a Bryce. Rabbi Yosi Aimer says, Rabbi Yosi Melam Yard the Shechina Lamata. The Shechina never went below. And they never went above, which shows that this line where the Shechina did not go down and Moshe did not go up, this is the line of a Rishos. And therefore, it's 10 Tefachim. Shenemar, as opposed to the Shemaim Hashem, the Aretz, Nasan Lanei Adam. Frag to the Gemara, a bunch of, we could almost call these sidebar questions. Is it true that Moshe didn't go above and Shem didn't go below? Well, I heard the Shechina Lamata, V'Ksiv Yerushem Al Arsin Lamalo, Meser Mitzvach. Says the Gemara, Meser Mitzvach. I V'Ksiv Am Deraglo B'Yam Hu Al Arsinai. Answers the Gemara, Lamal Meser Mitzvach. V'Lal Moshe V'Yol Lamaroim. V'Ksiv Moshe El Elokim, Lamata Meser. V'Ksiv Yal Elio B'Sar Hashemayim, Lamata Meser. V'Ksiv Achus B'nei Kisei Parsa V'Lav Ananu. V'Amar Rav Dan Chumalam Shiperchu Shakai. Miziv Shechina Asa V'Ananu. V'Ananu Allah, and the clouds went on him. Lamata Meser. Mikol Malka Frag Dimar, but he's holding on to the Kisei HaKavod. Me'achzu B'nei Kisei Ksiv. Shtarbu Yishtaru Le'Kisei Ad Asar V'Naklu went all the way down and he grabbed the thing. Gival. Good. Back to our main discussion, back to main center stage. Bishlam Aron Tisha. Bishlam Aron Tisha. There you go. But now you actually understand it, Chavro. Bishlam Adon. I don't know, I hope no one's here listening to Avim. They don't understand it. Bishlam, you all know what's going on. Bishlam Aron Tisha. By the way, we really should start on Yemi. It's been bothering me. We'll talk about that later. Bishlam Aron Tisha. D'chsip. So I understand that the Aron was 9. 6 plus 3 is 9. 6 being an amma of 6 tefachim. Elikapayers tefachim min alon. Answers the Gemara ten Rav Chanina. Kol hakelim shasam Moshe nestan abayim Torah midas ark midas rachman.
That's still the question.
Was?
That's a part of the question.
Yeah, the Tony Rav Chanina taught us Kol hakelim shasam Moshe nestan abayim Torah midas ark midas rachman midas kaim alson. But kapayres, we have a problem. Midas ark midas rachman not another Torah taught us length of the width. Midas kamasel not no. We don't know how tall it is. Say you lemad. Let's turn out mipach oisha b'kelim. Shneimar said in the Torah miskeres of the shulchan tefach. Savim alan tefach kan tefach. So learn out from the miskeres. Fragti marvin of mikem gufayu. So it's bigger than a tefach. Tfas meruba tfasta. Tfasta meruba muat. Tfasta meruba like tfasta tfasta. Fragti gemaras. Let's go even smaller. The first wide line hammer out. Vanel of meat sits. The Tanya sits of Doimik Kamin Tashels up. Brach of a base that's boys. Mukam Eisen ear tier because of Bay Sheetim. Yurke Lamala because Mamata. Varnov is Ravi Seni Risi Brahmi because of Hashem Shitachas. Don answers the Gemara. Don in Kli me Kli. He done in Kli me Tachshit, which was the tits. Vanel of me Zer. There was a Zer on the Shulchan, on the Aron, and on the Mizbeach. Says the Gemara, Damer Mar, is there Mashu? It's only a Mashnu. Answers the Gemara, Dani Klimi, and then a Klimi Hachshiki. Iachi, frag the Gemara, Miskar, Namer, is Hachshikliu. Miskar, Lamata, so which is first Mikar right over here, that because it's Lamata, that means it's intrinsic to the Kli, which means we have a Mikar that it is a Tefach. Givaldi. Are we good? Do you have a problem? No, we're good? Okay, fine. As long as we're good. I just didn't know if you're talking to me. Oh, so very good. So Michael Maymar. Hayach Shekliu. Elodana Davershin of entire Midas Davershin of entire Mida. There, Shalim entire Mida Cloud. There was no Midas, that's why you don't. So source number one is from the Miskaris. Kapairis from the Miskaris of the Shulchan.
Why you must say it's tefach? Because it's lemato.
If it's lamato, that means that the miskaris is part of the kli alain, part of the kli itself. If it's lamalo, then it's not part of the kli, and then the kasha was it's only a hachsher kli. So answers the Gemara according to the Amanda Omar. Still, it's better to learn from here, not from the tits of the zero, which the Torah itself did not give us a measurement. Ravuna Omar, source number 2. Me'acha alpanei akavers came of ein panabachs mitafach faces the tafach ve'ima kape devar yoichni as we turn over to him and base maybe from this big fat bird fast murbalot tafasta fast murbalot tafasta. In case you're doing math, that's the second tafasta. Ve'ima kape the tipirta a bird the zuta two. It's very small. Am Rav Achabar Yaakov Ravuna pnei gomer gzera shava kseva chamanei akavers kseva asmeis pnei yitzchak aviv frakti gomara of gzera shava neil panim shal maila from the malach of the livikiros pnei eli kevatir tzini. Number 3. Tafasta murbalot tafasta fasta. V'neilav me krov. Dechsev al kabarzi ebnei akrum. Amar Rav Achabar Yaakov Gmir ebnei akrum b'chutz mitavach v'Ravuna nami me'alcha gomer. So we now have a second source. Ravuna Gzereshava pnei 2 sources within the Gzereshava, either Yitzchak Avinu or from the Kruvim. Umay Kruv, parenthetical discussion, second parenthetical, or maybe third of the day.
Why is it called?
Good. Amar Ravu Karav Yishkin Bavel Karn the new Karav. Amar Le'abayel Me'ata Tersev Yechazkel Bnei Echad Bnei Kruv Bnei Shini Bnei Adam Hani Kruv Bnei Adam. Abirav have the large and small kids. We have a minute. We're waiting. Okay, fine. We'll stop over here. And we will pick it up tomorrow in the Chazara. I will be li neder, either pick up from here or whatever it is, so we can get a good Chazara in.